Looking for some advice for some hot new games? Well, you've come to the right spot. Here to talk about is Jamin Warren. How you doing, Jamin?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. So I heard you've got 3 good games for us to talk about. The first one being Draw Quest. What's that about?
Draw Quest was designed by one of the guys. He started 4chan, which is a popular online web community. Was responsible for a lot of memes, and as people know, the Hacker Collective Anonymous. It was started by them, and Draw Quest is pretty cool. It gives you a daily drawing challenge, to sort of inspire daily creativity. The company's called Canvas, and it's for iPad, so it asks you to draw something like my favorite superhero, and you kind of go from there, and you can share the pictures with your friends. It's probably an heir to a game like Draw Something.
I was going to say, it sounded very much like Draw Something. And then I assume as you play this more, the pictures get more challenging?
Yeah, so, I mean, the idea for Canvas as a company is to try and find ways to foster online creativity. And the idea is, I think, that we spend much of our daily lives not making stuff, and Draw Quest is sort of meant to be a little moment of zen. The idea that you're spending a little bit of time creating something new to inspire more creativity. So the challenges are sort of, there's no like ranking system or whatever, but the idea is to just encourage people to just create more things on their iPad on a daily basis.
Gotcha. Now, this second game intrigued me when I was looking at it because it reminded me of the Sega Genesis games of my youth, Anodyne. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Anodyne is a student finalist this year for the Independent Games Festival in San Francisco, which is, it's sort of like a Sundance of games, sort of saying different, different independents kind of compete for this prize. And they have a student category. It kind of showcases what you're seeing more from younger designers, which is that they're taking games of their youth and then using those as experiments for games of their future. So in this case, it obviously has a lot of inspiration from games like Legend of Zelda, some of those Sega Genesis era games. But the twist is twofold. One is that you're exploring the mysteries of your character's subconscious, through these like sort of dreamlike sequences, and the other is that the sound effects and the music are sort of enchanting and haunting at the same time. You kind of think more like a David Fincher film. So
yeah, it was very creepy music that it was playing.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the kinds of elements that you see younger game designers kind of explore, sort of toying with. It's not necessarily the same kind of maybe light 8-bit kind of adventure music that you may think, but you can do something a little bit more ambient and a little bit more menacing.
And who are the audience for that? Are they trying to tap into the younger generation, or are they trying to bring back people like me who may have been big gamers 20 years ago?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, like most creatives, they're making things for their contemporaries. I mean, these are young guys, Sean Hogan and Jonathan Kitaka. So, they're making games for their fellow classmates. But, the dream is to be able to inspire folks who've been playing games for quite some time. And that's something, frankly, you've seen a lot on Kickstarter. Some of these older franchises, like Wasteland, for example, or Leisure Suit Larry, which are, attempting to bring older works back into the public. So I think they're having a conversation with the past and the present.
And then you have a third game called Little Inferno. Please talk about that.
Sure. Little Inferno comes from the makers of 2 popular games, World of Goo, which was one of the first big iPad games a couple of years ago. It sold millions of units. It did very, very well. Also launched on the Wii. And then the other one, Henry Hatsworth, a puzzling adventure, which was originally an EA title. So their new title is called Little Inferno, and the gameplay is super, super simple. It's meant to be a satire of sort of games that you play on the go, but also social games, kind of like Farmville. And the idea is really simple. You're a character, and you try to burn everything, and you can purchase new things to burn from the store. And it gives you a timer when things have completed burning. I think the idea is that they're trying to sort of make fun of this idea that games are something. You've seen recently this happens where games are something that are sort of fueled by vertical in-app purchases, but also poke fun again at games like Farmville, where you would plant crops and you wait and then you come back. So in this case, you're trying to sort of burn the world down.
It seems like a good way to vent after a difficult day.
Exactly. Maybe this falls more into, you think about like the toaster screensavers or something like that. It's something to sort of fill your screen time with something sort of different. But these are 2 really talented game designers, and I think they're finding new ways to try to develop experiences for the iPad.
Good stuff, Jamin. Entertaining as always. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care.